Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm not saying welcome back to my kitchen this time because we're actually in my dining room. I wanted to go over my fall 2026 garden, kind of do a little bit of a recap. What were things that went well? What are things that I didn't do so well in, but I learned a ton, and show you what I want to plant for the fall. So I've already started some seeds indoors. I will show you the progress in just a second because I did film part of this already a little bit earlier, and I still want to keep those clips because I have already updated my backyard patio container garden, and I want to show you guys that progress. And I have some thoughts on my seed starting and how it's looking like. Now, I want to preface all of this by saying that I am not an experienced gardener. So once upon a time, I did have a side garden on one side of my backyard, which is like a long strip, and I was able to grow tomatoes and peppers and herbs. I think that's kind of what I've been sticking to for quite some time now, is tomatoes, peppers, herbs. They do well for me, decent enough. I don't get like a huge harvest, but they do pretty good. So that's what I've been sticking with, but I did venture out and plant a few extra things in the spring and summer. Now, all of that is to say that I think I did 2 seasons worth of gardening in total before I took a really long break from gardening, and it kind of feels like I'm starting all over again, and some of the knowledge that I learned when I was gardening, I kind of lost it. So I find myself having to research a lot and look at different forums and, you know, ask people questions on what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong. So it does feel like I am starting from square one all over again, which is totally fine. So if you guys are more experienced than I am, have some more insight than I do, please feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate all of your input and all of your help. So before I get into showing you the seeds that I've started so far and what I plan on planting out for the fall 2026, I wanted to go over super quickly the spring summertime. So I did make a video, I will post it down below, and I think it was like a garden with me, and this was very like spur of the moment where I decided, you know what, I really want to garden. I'm just going to do it in containers this year. So the reason I say that is because that side yard that I did have my garden in, we are going to either rip everything out and pave it or lay down some sod and just have it all as grass again. But right now it looks like a jungle. In order to use it, I would have to put a lot of work, and it is peak hot summertime. So I am not doing that. I'm actually going to wait probably a little bit closer to the fall and winter to have somebody come out and do all of that, because I feel so bad having them work out in the crazy heat, and it's a lot of work to kind of rip everything out and start fresh again. But I didn't want that to stop me from being able to grow a few things. So that is why I ended up kind of in the situation where I am now, where I am doing container gardening. And I started off with just 1 or 2 things. I do have like a 5-tiered, it looks like a little ladder, but it's a little planter. And I thought, okay, well, that will be perfect for herbs. I have some pots that I can hang on the fence, and I can do some flowers, and that'll be super pretty. And I'll just grab a pepper plant, a tomato plant, and we'll just do that. And it started off that way, and then just little by little, it started growing and growing and growing. And now I will show you guys in just a second what it looks like. But I did, and I think I'll probably just put the video up over while I'm talking, just so that you guys can see the layout that I had. I have my container garden on the opposite side of my yard where we did get it paved. So I had like a outdoor patio set with the chairs, and I had a few planter pots along the edge of, you know, that paved section, and that is where I was growing all of my stuff. I definitely did change things up a little bit, and again, I will show you in a second. But what did I grow? I grew peppers, hot peppers, tomatoes, zinnias, snapdragons towards the end of the growing season. Well, we're still technically in summer, so I still have snapdragons out there, and I purchased those from Azure Standard as live plants. I did green beans, I did herbs, but basically it was a lot of tomatoes and peppers. Those are the things that I love to grow the most because it's what I use a lot of, and because I have a limited space, I kind of want to use the things that I really enjoy cooking with. With my tomatoes, I did get a pretty good harvest. I have a bag of Roma tomatoes that are in my deep freezer so that I can turn that into some marinara sauce later on. And I think I had 3 tomato plants, or I ended up with 3 tomato plants in total, and a cherry, I think it was a cherry tomato, and 2 Roma tomatoes. They all did really well. We were able to eat fresh cherry tomatoes and have those in salads and as snacks and things like that. The Roma tomatoes also did pretty good, but I noticed that in the peak like heat season, they started to die back, and they caught a fungal disease, which I researched, and apparently it is very, very common in Florida because it is so hot, it is so humid. That's kind of what we're battling against. And I think for a lot of people, the growing time, the spring, summer growing time is like their best time to grow. But in Florida, in super hot, humid climates, it makes it a little bit more difficult. So I'm really looking forward to planting stuff for the fall and winter. So yeah, the tomato plants did pretty good. Pepper plants, I got a good harvest from. Hot peppers, I did really good. I had cowhorn peppers, and I figured out how I like to use them best, which is by making a cowhorn pepper hot sauce. And I'm still gathering cowhorn peppers. So once I make the next batch, I will bring you guys along and show you how I do that. We had jalapenos that were really good. I have Tabasco peppers that are still growing, and I think habaneros and banana peppers. So all of the peppers did really well. The tomatoes did okay. The flowers, I was unaware that zinnias need a lot more space than a tiny little 5-inch pot that I was hanging on top of my fence. It looked beautiful, but there was only 1 or 2 flowers that were growing because it was such a small little space. I also didn't know that they are cut and come again flowers, and the more that you harvest them, the more they put out, kind of like basil. Didn't know that. So I ended up planting zinnia plants that I got later on from Azure Standard in a big 13-gallon pot. I believe I have 3 or 4 plants. Currently it is still growing. I don't have any flowers. All of the flowers that were on the fence pretty much fried up and got super crispy with the sun. I mean, they were right in the heat, and I know that zinnias love sunlight and heat, but I think it was a little bit too harsh. Now my Snapdragon is doing pretty good. I have it in a shaded area because I believe they do better in cooler temperatures, and they don't do so well when it is super, super hot, 90, 100 degree weather days. It still has some blooms. It's still doing okay. So I have that. But overall, yeah, I think the spring, summer growing season was a really good way to kind of dip my toes back in, get myself back into gardening, and kind of like bring that spark back. I would love to have a huge garden one day, and I would love to one day be a very skilled and experienced gardener, but that is just not where I'm at right now. So I am just super grateful for anything that comes out of those containers. That is a win to me nonetheless. So that is a little recap of spring and summer. Now on to the fall. I did order some seeds from My Gardener. This is the first time that I've ever ordered it, and I had a few things in my cart, but then I saw that they had a 25% off sale, and I took that as my sign to order these seeds. So I think I mentioned that I also planted out green beans for spring and summer. They did not do good. I also didn't know that they don't do good in heat, in really high heat. So I am growing them now for the fall and the winter, and I would love to grow, I think 4 bushes per 13-gallon pot is what I've researched that is acceptable. 4 to 5 plants. Now the ones that I ordered, and I will show you in a second, are jade green beans. They are a bush variety. So I'm hoping to get a good amount of green beans so that I can have some for fresh eating, but then also preserve some a little bit, because I've also kind of dabbled in pressure canning recently, and I've done beans and potatoes so far and chicken stock. So it would be really fun to be able to preserve green beans from my own garden. So let me grab the seeds really quickly. Let me show you what it is that I picked up from My Gardener and my thoughts for the fall season. So for flowers, I still have some zinnia seeds and I still have marigold seeds. I might attempt to grow marigolds again, but I did pick up another package of snapdragons, and these are called Defiant Red. I think snapdragons are one of my favorite flowers. I just think they're so pretty. So I'm hoping that I can grow a few more of those. I also ended up getting some Bib Butterhead lettuce. I know those do a lot better during the cooler months. And then I got a free complimentary salad bowl mix from My Gardener. As far as the tomatoes, I picked up an Isis candy cherry tomato. Where am I gonna put all of these once they, because I have my little starters right here. Where am I gonna put them? I'm not sure, but I'll figure that out soon enough. I also picked up an Amish paste tomato, a mortgage lifter tomato, which I think is this part of like the larger like beefsteak kind of tomatoes? I believe so. And then pineapple tomato, the name got me. I just thought it sounded really interesting. Oh wait, no, I have 2 more. This one I'm really excited for. It is Aunt Molly's ground cherry tomato. I have never had a ground cherry, but I heard that they're delicious and I would like to grow them myself. And then I also got a royal paste tomato. Tomatoes, those are all the ones I got. I think I went a little bit overboard on tomatoes. Again, where am I gonna put all of these? I'm not sure. I mean, I did order 10-gallon planter pots, and I have a few 13 gallons and some smaller ones. I definitely have the space for it now. We'll figure that out when the time comes. But for peppers, I ended up getting the Chocolate Beauty bell pepper and a habanero Caribbean orange pepper. Now I know that hot peppers are better to grow in the summertime because the more heat exposure they have, the hotter the peppers are, but this is also Florida. So I'm hoping that I can still grow them and they'll still have a really good spice to them. We shall see. And then the green beans that I told you guys are the jade bean bush variety. And then I also picked up a few more things, which I think I'm going going to have to pick up another little bag of like the starter mix, and I'll show you why in a second. But I did pick up eggplant. This is the Black Beauty Heirloom. I picked up some arugula and some petite sweet carrots. I have never been able to grow carrots. I've tried it in the past, and if I can find the picture, I will put it up on the screen, but I had enough that you could maybe get a singular bite of carrots. That's how many I grew. And it's because I wasn't aware that you needed to thin your carrots, and even now I'm just like, what exactly does that mean? I did find a video and I saved it, so I need to go back and look at that one, because for some reason carrots are just a little bit intimidating to me, because I know you're supposed to kind of pack the seeds a little bit more densely and then thin them out, and I'm just like, that sounds like a lot. It sounds like I'm gonna mess it up. I also have some kabocha squash seeds. Now those are my favorite. I am reserving one of my 13.67 gallon planter pots for the kabocha squash, but I researched and I heard that those are best to direct sow. I'm gonna do that probably late August, early September, and we'll see how that goes. So I do have the seeds tucked away somewhere. So I did take a few clips when I was putting together all of my seeds and planting them out. I will show you super quickly what it is that I use, because I have it here. I think what I want to do for maybe the next season is I want to get those, what are they called? Soil blocks. I think it's what it's called, where you can make your own soil blocks and get some bigger seed starting trays, just because this one here, I can fit 12 in each, which is great if all of them germinate, or if all the things that I'm planting germinate. But like, I'm looking down right now and I have one Amish paste tomato that germinated out of the 3 that I sowed. I have no chocolate beauty bell peppers, no habaneros. They have not germinated at all. So I feel like even if I don't use all of the plants that I start, at least I have a better chance of them germinating if I plant some more. Do you know what I mean? But for what I have going on right now, this still does the job just fine. And it's this little kit that I got right here from Amazon. I will link it down below. It has like a little dome enclosure that keeps in the moisture, and they each have a light, like a kind of like a grow light. Now I did also just order, let me move it over. I did also just order these lights right here, because I ended up planting out a few more things in these little tiny containers that I picked up from Dollar Tree, and I'm growing a few more things. So I ran out of space, I needed more, and the grow lights, it wasn't enough for me to have a grow light over everything that I'm trying to grow, so that's why I picked these up here, and I will link those below as well. Now the reason I say that I might need to pick up some seed starting mix is because I wanted to start a few more jade green beans. Now I want to have at least 8 plants. I had an entire one of these planted out with jade green beans, and I only had 2 germinate. Now I think I know what I did wrong. I did have to go to ChatGPT and try to figure it out, because I noticed that some of the little cells had like white fuzzy mold on it, and it is because I had the dome on for too long. It trapped too much moisture in, and it says that it doesn't always affect the seeds when germinating, but sometimes it does, and I'm assuming in this case it did, because I only had 2 that germinated. Let me show you super quickly the 2 that I have. So this one is looking beautiful, and then I also have this little baby one right here. So I think these 2, I'm going to move them into a larger little container, just so that I can reuse this and try to plant some more out, but I don't have any more seed starting mix. So I went online and I'm like, well, I don't have seed starting mix, but I do have potting mix and perlite. Can I make that work? So it told me to do a ratio of 75% potting mix, 25% perlite, and that is what I did, but I don't think it keeps the moisture well enough for the seeds to germinate. So yeah, I'm not sure. And the other ones that I planted out, these have seed starting mix, and just about all of them germinated. So these all did really well, but the ones that have the potting soil mix with the perlite, it doesn't matter how much I water them, I feel like they just dry up super fast. So thankfully the bags of seed starting mix are really inexpensive. So I think what I'm going to do in these next few days is to up pot all of the ones that have started growing and put them into larger little containers, and then use these cells with the little dome, and I'll put them in a different section to start germinating some more green beans and see if I can correct my my wrongs and get some more green beans. That's the one thing that I'm really excited to grow, and it's the one that has like not great germination. So, but let me show you these right here. My Isis cherry, I have 2 of them that germinated. Pineapple tomato, all 3. The Amish paste is just 1, and mortgage lifter is all 3. The mortgage lifter definitely look the best. So this is what they're looking like. Now you guys let me know if you start seed at home. Now I do not have like a green room or anything like that. The only thing that I have is my back area, which is like a lanai. It is not insulated, so it is very warm back there. And I don't know if it is too hot to put the seedlings, because I do have these on a heat mat, so I don't know if I just set up a table back there, if they would do fine back there or not. I'm not sure. So you guys let me know in the comments down below if you guys know. And also, is it too early to up pot these when they're at this stage? Because what I'm thinking is to take these and put them in a container more like this size. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what it is that I'm gonna do, but I will keep you guys posted for the journey. This is all just kind of planning it out, kind of winging it. We'll see how it goes. So I think I had a clip, or I inserted a clip where you guys saw what the garden area looked like before, and now you guys know what my little seedlings look like. So let me take you to my back garden super quickly. I'm gonna show you what it is that I did because I'm really excited about it. There are a few other things that I wanna add on to it and things that I kind of wanna switch up so I'll go over that with you. But yeah, let's go to my backyard. Alrighty guys, so about to come outside and show you my little container garden setup, but look at how pretty the sky is today. What are you doing, girl? All right guys, so if you remember from the previous clips, I had my little outdoor dining set here, and what I ended up doing was removing it because it is so hot and humid most of the year here that we really don't sit outside and eat dinner. We normally just, eat at the dining table, eat at the counters. So I figured I might as well just use this entire space for my container garden. I think that where we are right now and for this space, it's just a much better use. So let me go over super quickly and give you guys a little garden update. So in the corner, I have this little 5-tiered ladder planter that I was telling you guys about, and I have some serrano peppers. This one is actually putting on a bunch of little peppers, but the problem that I saw in the last growing season is that this gets so incredibly wet and it doesn't drain really well. I feel like the soil is pretty wet and it stays wet for quite some time, so I don't know if I'm gonna take these out and put them into a larger pot and then maybe just do strictly herbs here, because I feel like the herbs seem to be doing okay. But I have another serrano down here that seems to be doing well. I just don't know if I would mess it up by uprooting it and putting it into another pot, or if it'll be good, especially now that it has some peppers on it. Like, should I leave it or am I okay to move it? If you guys know, please let me know down below. Here is my little patch of cilantro that is just now starting to grow, and this has been months in the work. I have some chive plants that I picked up later on from Azure Standard. I have some more cilantro here. Now my basil is doing really well. I just harvested a bunch of it because it was getting really tall and I thought that it was gonna start going to seed. And then down here I have all of my parsley, which I also harvested a bunch of that. And in this little corner I have my snapdragon. So you see what I mean, that some of the little flowers are kind of burnt, but I have some new ones coming in. This is also a snapdragon that kind of burnt off, but I have a new bloom right there. For now, it's living right here, but I think eventually I will put it in a larger pot. I finally took the time and I planted out our hibiscus tree. This grows hibiscus flowers that we like to feed Tortilla the tortoise. I did fertilize it because all of it was pretty much yellow, so it's looking a lot better. Hopefully we get some more flowers from there. And these are the pots that I was telling you guys. I just repotted all of this yesterday. These are 10-gallon pots. I got them from the TikTok shop. They had a really, really good deal. I think I got 10 for $40, if I'm not mistaken. So I ended up switching out my Tabasco peppers. So this is what they're looking like. I don't know if they're supposed to get any bigger than this because I feel like this is so tiny. Do I just let it go and continue to grow? I need to research because I've never grown Tabasco. I believe this is my hot habanero, but it's not getting any sun right now. The only problem that I'm having is that this is the only little patch that gets full direct sun, and I try to put my tomatoes and some of my other peppers there. So hopefully this will still give me some peppers. We shall see. I have my banana peppers here, and the leaves are starting to turn green again, so that looks good. This is my mammoth jalapeno. I had so many jalapenos, but it started turning yellow, which I think just means that it's hungry and I needed to fertilize it, which I did yesterday. So we have that. I have a San Marzano tomato, I think another one there and one in the back as well. Now this is a newer plant. This is a red bell pepper, but it is starting to put out a bunch of little peppers. There's some down here if you guys can see. There's another one right there. Now this right here is my zinnia, and I feel like these look really good, but this one, it's kind of like flopping over, and I don't know why. I don't know if I should be putting some supports on it, but it looks like I'm gonna get a zinnia soon, so that's exciting. This plant is a poblano pepper plant, and I have two, and this is a newer plant as well, so this one's doing well. Now here I have my lemon plant. I was gonna say lemon pepper. My lemon plant, but I think it's in too small of a pot. You guys let me know if I should be moving this into a larger pot. And over here, this is my older bell pepper and serrano pepper pot. I just learned that I should only have one pepper plant per pot, so definitely overcrowded. I'm still getting, as you can see, little bell peppers, and there's a few more in there. And I have a few serrano peppers as well. Even this one has little baby serranos. So I don't know, you guys let me know if I should go through the trouble of moving these to their own pots. Now this one is my cowhorn pepper, and it is doing really well. I've been letting them ripen on the plant and get red, so I believe this one is starting to turn, and there's quite a few more that I see, so that is good. Now these last two over here are my tomato. I believe they're both, this is a cherry and that is a San Marzano. I put up some stakes to help support them, but I also have been spraying them with a copper fungicide because the same disease that took my last tomato plant started on this one as well. So I need to come through here, clip out all of the bad leaves, and hopefully we can get some tomatoes. And I have to get some more soil to fill up this pot, plus a few others, but I think I'm gonna put my jade green beans, I'm gonna direct sow, plant out the ones that I do have, and then direct sow the rest of them and see if I get any to germinate. And this is basically my little container garden. I did go ahead and pick up some paver stones, and I put all of the pots on a paver stone because my worry from the last time was that I had these all in these plastic saucer pots, and because I didn't want it to stain my actual pavers, but when it rained, the saucer pots got full of water, and if I didn't pick up these heavy pots and empty out the saucer pot, then they were just sitting in water, which was creating issues of its own. So hopefully now that there's no saucer pots under here, and if it stains the paver that I put underneath it, that's totally fine, not a big deal. But yeah, this is my little container garden so far. I have to check and see what things grow in more of a shaded area so that I can utilize some more space. Maybe not all of it, because I do want to have a little bit of a walkway, but just utilize a little bit more space. It is hot out here, guys. So yeah, that is everything for my fall 2026 garden, what I'm planning on doing, what I'm hoping grows, the things that I've learned from the spring and summer garden, and the changes that I've made so far to my little backyard container garden area. So I will definitely film more videos for sure. I will have those as just like gardening videos because I do need to let the seeds grow that are inside so that I can plant them out, and I'll give you guys updates on what I'm growing and how things are going. But for this video, I think I'm gonna end it here, and hopefully we will have videos soon enough where I can bring you guys out for my little harvesting sessions with my cute little basket and harvest from my little container garden. So yeah, that is everything for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching if you're still here. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. That would help me out a lot. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you here. And until the next video, bye friends.